It's DOA.
Go ahead and call the meeting to order, Carter County Commission, February the 18th to 6 p.m. We do continue to have technical difficulties. So as you speak, commissioners, if you could please stand and rise and then whatever you need to say, try to help me out with that and we'll try to go ahead and have a productive meeting. We do appreciate everyone being here. Since Mr. Smith is not here, the exits on both doors in case we have an emergency. We have officers in the back in case we need them for anything. With that being said, I think that covers as much as I can cover on the egress plan for the Carter County Commission. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll? Let me say this before you do that. Mr. Mark Tester, one of our commissioners, is absent. He had surgery this morning. I think it was a kidney stone removal from Dr. Mr. Mike Hill is on vacation, and Mr. Austin James is on vacation as well. So we have 3 commissioners missing.
And Isaiah is at training.
Oh, and Mr. Grindstaff is at training. We have 4 commissioners missing, so please call.
Well, let's be a quick meeting then.
Brad, you jinxed us.
Order, please order.
I'm dead, I need that.
Really?
Hanson, shit too.
Yeah. Really?
Well, I changed it back.
We got difficulties.
I'm gonna throw mine out the yard.
Oh, I killed my brother.
Tell you what, let's-
Nancy, look.
I think you actually-
Nancy, you got mine.
This passed me by, so I'll take 2 votes.
When it rains, it pours, ladies and gentlemen, when it rains, it pours.
Reveal.
Wait a minute. Wait, she used mine.
We have to redo it. Willie's looks like it is.
Yeah, Willis isn't in either. Really. Cancel vote.
Cancel vote.
Did I cancel?
Try canceling it. Has to be in vote mode. It's taking the roll. Willie, is yours not working either? Did you change the battery out?
Yep, I think you'd already revealed it before.
No, do it again. That's not working.
Is the light turning on, Willie? When you hit the button, the light's on.
Oh, don't worry. Patsy, you'll have to progress because there's no way to cancel it, and then just note in the minutes that Mike Hill was not here.
Try it again.
You just marked Nancy absent.
We're gonna make her up here. That's how easy it is to handle.
Just progress to the next vote, and you can clear it up in the minutes that Mike Hill actually wasn't there.
Reveal.
Cancel that vote.
Wait a minute.
There we go. You're good. That way, whenever it goes into discussion, then it's ready for the next vote. You're good to go.
What's the majority numbers? 12, 11. 13. Look at that, buddy.
13.
We're one.
Still,
Just not here doesn't matter.
We're not sure.
It's not a
Still
vacancy.
13.
Just put in jail order.
okay, let's get back to our agenda. I have two additions before we approve the agenda. Right after number 9, please insert Mr. Luke Freeman. He was with the Elizabethton Carter County Tourism Department. Commissioner Garland will introduce him when we get down to that point. And then after number 10, this will be a 10-minute presentation by Mr. Von Cannon after number 10. Those are the only additions I have. I'll open the floor for a motion to approve the agenda. Motion made by Commissioner Frazier, second by Commissioner Travis Hill. All in favor? Just stay working.
Work at that time.
Thank you. The agenda is set. Now we come to our time of prayer. Our brother, Commissioner Willie Campbell. Willie, pray hard for patience. Remain standing, and Commissioner Ward will lead us in prayer.
Dear Heavenly gracious Father God, Lord, we bow our heads, Lord, approach your throne of grace today. Thank you, Lord, for another day that you've given us, Lord, put our feet in the Lord, taking up bread. Lord, today we do pray, Lord, for each and every one that's gathered here tonight, Lord. God, we pray, Lord, that some of them may have problems, some of them may have different things going on in their lives that we don't know about, God. We just pray, Lord, that you'll touch it. Lord, we praise you, Lord, for each thing that you've done for us, each prayer that you've answered for us, and the ones you're going to answer. God, tonight we do pray for those that are sick, Lord, afflicted within this body. Lord, we pray, God, that you touch them. We pray your anointing, God, on each one. Lord, we thank you, Lord, we have the privilege, Lord, to come in through the county business, Lord. Lord, we just pray, God, that you touch our hearts. Lord, help us along the way, Lord, to make decisions, Lord, with wisdom and knowledge. God, tonight we do pray. Lord, thank you most of all for your Son, Jesus Christ, died on the cross, Lord, that our names could be written down in the Lamb's Book of Life. Lord, tonight your word says, Lord, let not our hearts be troubled. Lord, we know there's trouble on every hand, but we know that we have a Savior that's sitting on the right hand of the Father, making intercession for us tonight. Lord, we thank you today. Lord, we pray for our president, we pray for the leaders of our country, all the way down, Lord, to our small government. God, we pray that you have your hands upon each one of them. Lord, we thank you for each county official, Lord, that you give them the wisdom and the knowledge, Lord, to do their job. Lord, we can never thank you enough. Lord, once again, we give you the praise and honor for everything that's done here tonight. We ask these things in thy name. Amen. Amen.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We have some agendas on the bench up here if anyone would like to have an agenda to follow along with us. We're on number 7 on our agenda, which is recognition of elected officials and those appointed and their guests. Would you please stand? Let's give them a hand. We do appreciate everything that you do for the county. We're down to number 8 on our agenda. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make it.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Jenkins, second by Commissioner Blevins. Any discussion? Discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Bill, thank you. Minutes approved. Now it's time to approve the notaries and the bonds. Madam Clerk, would you read those names, please?
J. Nicole Stout Cable, Jonah Roberts, Cameron Modern, Sarah J. Turberfield, Holly Roberts, Caitlin Bowen, Joshua Marlowe, Angela S. Roden, Richard A. Shipley, Deborah Guy, Holly Fraley, Janet Smith, Jimmy Dean Street, Nina R. Ellis, Charles Randolph, Haley R. Skinner, Daniel A. Ray, and not on your packet is Michael G. Harden, David Collins, Chris Wright, and Teresa Calvin.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Prophet, second by Commissioner Frazier. Any discussion? Discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Bill, please. Motion passed. Chairman Garland, do you want to introduce your guest, sir?
Yeah, that'd be fine. We've got Commissioner Luke Freeman here tonight with us from the Elizabeth and Carter County Chamber of Commerce. He's the tourism coordinator. We've talked about this for 2 months, and I was supposed to get it put on the agenda. Slipped my mind, but Luke's doing a fantastic job for us. Just wants to kind of give us an update, get us caught up on some things he's doing in his office, and we're going to welcome him right now.
Thank you all for letting me come speak to you this evening. I'll try and keep things brief. But as Ross said, my name is Luke Freeman. I'm the tourism coordinator for Carter County. And I just want to start giving you all maybe some quarterly updates to what we're doing over there with Carter County Tourism and how we're promoting tourism in Carter County, which is funded by the hotel motel tax. I want to start out, since it is kind of first of the year, by giving you an update on what all happened in 2019. And we had over 1,200 visitors stop by our visitor center and come in for information. We had visitors from all over the country as well as all over the world, including the Netherlands, England, Germany, Israel, and many other countries. We had over 8,000 people we sent information on visiting or relocating to Carter County, either by mail or email. We purchased advertising in over a dozen national, regional, and local publications, including some like Good Housekeeping, Travel South, Smoky Mountain Living, Adventure Outdoors, Southern Travel, and others. We had more than 4,000 users visit our website, tourcartercounty.com. If you haven't checked that out, I would encourage you to take a look at it. And we created a new visitor brochure that we designed and printed, and we mail that out to anyone who's requesting information on the area, or as well as distribute it through brochure racks in the Knoxville, Tri-Cities, and Western North Carolina regions. We partnered with the Retire Tennessee program to encourage people to retire to Carter County. We also provided sponsorships for local events that draw tourists to our area. And these are just some of the initiatives that we funded through we did through the funding of the hotel motel tax in 2019. Some of the upcoming projects we have include updating our website to make it more user-friendly and provide more information on the different lodging options we have available across the county. And we've also just started a search engine marketing campaign, as well as a retargeting campaign to expand our digital reach. And we're already beginning to see an increase in website traffic thanks to those campaigns, just over the last month or so. As part of our partnership with Retire Tennessee, I'll be traveling to Washington, D.C. area next week to promote visiting and retiring to Carter County at a retirement expo. A lot of folks in those real high cost of living cities are really excited to learn about just the low cost of living here and how beautiful this area is, and are really excited about hearing about it. And even if they don't end up moving here, a lot of those tend to come visit anyways, at least. So that's definitely something we've seen be a really good thing for us. As a result of marketing Carter County as a tourist destination, we've seen tourism increase year over year. While we don't yet have the economic impact numbers for 2019, in 2018, we saw $40.9 million in direct tourism expenditures in Carter County, which created $2.5 million in local tax revenue and another $2.5 million in state tax revenue. And that, the savings from those taxes that we get through tourism save each household in Carter County $211 in taxes every year. It would have to be made up some other way if it wasn't coming in from tourism. And so I just want to say thank you for your support, and if any of you are interested in learning more about the work being done to promote tourism to Carter County, or if you would like to attend our quarterly tourism advisory council meetings to provide input, just let me know. My office is over at the Chamber of Commerce. I'm there usually anytime during the week, 8 to 5. Come see me or give me a call. Our next meeting will be at noon on May 14th at the Chamber of Commerce. If you'd like to attend, we'd love to have you. Does anybody have any questions I can answer at this point?
Mr. Fraser?
Do y'all have a Facebook page, Twitter, and social media on that side of it? Because I was looking for you guys and I wasn't able to find it.
Yeah, we do. We have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. I think it's maybe under the name Tour Carter County.
Any other questions?
I just want to make a comment. Somebody mentioned that the advertisements, I think it was, came here one time. There was, some things said about not advertising our county and things like that. I think the advertisement is actually out of our county. Some of these publications reach farther than just our local, places that you walk in and things like that. So just want to kind of clarify that. I think the statement was made that we were recognized or somebody came from Tanzania. So obviously what we're doing in advertising marketing is working out. And we got countries from all over visiting this area. So they are doing a good job. I just appreciate the hard work that they do.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other comments? Thank you, Mr. Fraser, for coming and being with us. Okay, I want to comment just a minute about our public comments before we get into that part of the agenda. Our public comments are 5 minutes, and after the 5 minutes, you cannot yield to other people. In other words, you have 5 minutes to speak, and that's comments only, and it's not an exchange question and answer situation. And I would also like to say that we need to make sure that we have respect for each other and listen very closely. I would encourage commissioners to listen very closely, as I will. Any public comments are very important for us to hear, but I will make sure that we follow the policy and procedures in this part of the agenda. So, that being said, I'll go ahead and open it up. Anyone would like to come and speak? Come on up, sir, in the back.
I'll go first. I got no dog in this race.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Chris Little from Valley Forge, and I just wanted to remind everybody that Confederate Railroad is coming to town. We are bringing a train to Elizabeth, or a railroad to Elizabeth, and it's just the music kind and not the rail kind. It's Sunday, May the 24th. Tickets are $25, $20, and $15. I think one commissioner in here, I think I noticed her husband had already bought 2 tickets. Thank you, Kelly. Oh, 4 tickets. But if you could spread the word, we would appreciate it. The floor is already sold out. So tickets are picking up, and we've not even really started advertising yet. WBEJ is going to have free tickets on giveaway, so please listen to WBEJ in the mornings. And David will be taking care of that. And the Star is going to start running an ad pretty soon that has a code that you can scan with your phone, and it'll take you directly to the tickets. If not, www.gobetsy.com. But yeah, we bring a railroad to town, and we appreciate to have everybody there.
Thank you, sir.
Where is that event, Chris?
It's down at the high school. It sits 2,200 people. And they've also offered us the stadium to use if we want to, and we're in talks now with a significant artist about maybe doing something next year. Yes, sir.
What time?
It starts at 7 o'clock, doors open at 6.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Come on up, sir, please. Sir, if you would state your name and address, that would be helpful for the record.
I'm Eric Wright. I live at 1587 Highway 91. I live in the Stony Creek community. I'm representing the Appalachian Sportsman's Club tonight. We have about 75 or 80 members. I know that you all have the proposed animal regulations that's been proposed by Animal Shelter, and so on their behalf tonight, we want the commission to know that we oppose these regulations. We think it'll be a burden on the people of Carter County. You can only write so many laws, and when you write more than what's common sense and reasonable, you put a burden upon people. I printed out 44 pages of laws that control animals in the state of Tennessee. There's abuse laws, there's laws of dogs biting people, animals running at large. I think if you add more laws and these regulations, you become a burden to the people of Carter County. And if the sheriff has to, enforce all of these regulations, that's all he's going to be is a dog and cat police. And the sheriff has a lot more to do than that. And I think thirdly, if this goes to the animal shelter and they have to enforce it, I think the animal shelter will be back here in front of the commission asking you for more tax dollars for officers and for equipment to be able to enforce all of these regulations. We think these regulations in our minds is preposterous, that there's more than enough laws on the books of the state of Tennessee that we don't enforce already. And so on behalf of the club, we just want to tell the commission tonight that we're opposed to all of these propositions. Thank you, Commissioners.
Thank you, sir, very much. Do you have anyone else for public comment? Yes, sir, would you come up, please? Please state your name, sir, and your address. That would be helpful for our record.
My name is Marty Hill. I live at 108 North Garland Road, Elizabethton, Tennessee.
Thank you.
For the same thing he just said, but I have a question for the mayor, but he probably can't answer it. At the last meeting, at the law enforcement meeting, he said he heard a lot of people calling about rabies. Well, I don't know if he knows or not, but there was only 16 cases in Tennessee, and there was only 6 in northeast Tennessee. And there was none in Carter County to pass this law. And for me to sit up here and argue with you guys, I'm not going to do it. But I will tell you one thing. This person in Carter County, I won't pay it. You can send me to jail.
Thank you, sir. We have other public comments. Come on up, sir, please. I will say I already appreciate the orderly fashion in which you guys are presenting yourself. Please state your name and your address, sir.
My name is Lester Perkins. I live on 126 Big Sandy Road in Stony Creek on Highway 91. I've been a coon hunter ever since I was a young boy. And you know, I encourage my kid, my son, he's back there, my grandson, I encourage them all to coon hunt. I think coon hunting and sports like that keeps your kids a lot of times out of trouble. And to be honest with you, I think the bill that you're trying to come up with is a bunch of foolishness. I've not seen over the years Carter County bring one bag of dog food to feed my hounds. I've not seen them come and offer to build no shed for my hounds or dog houses. I've done that myself. And I think a responsible hunter is going to do that. I believe he'll take care of his animals. But I stand opposed to that now.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Public comment? Anyone else? Mr. Mayor, do you have comments?
I do, Mr.
I'd just like to respond. My comment was that night, it wasn't just about rabies. I said my biggest concern was immunization for rabies and parvo, all that stuff. I said that my biggest concern was taking care of the animals, getting your shots, and animal cruelty. I said that's my biggest thing. And I didn't single out to rabies. Maybe misunderstood. I said my biggest concern is taking care of, having your shots for rabies or whatever, parvo, whatever that is. But again, if I said it otherwise, I was wrong because I didn't mean to say it that way. I'm just worried about the shots and animal cruelty. That's my biggest concern. That's what I said.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Anyone else like to speak? Come on up, sir. State your name and address, if you would.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to see all you guys and ladies out here tonight. This sure makes a whole lot of difference in how this town operates. When people come out like this, and you're all taxpayers, if it's just me you here at every meeting, this will be a different story right here. It's your money that you need to be watching as much as you do the dogs. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of money going through here. You've been watching for quite a while. And there's multi-millions going through here that your taxpayers' money. Very few people watching. And if you get this from now on out, through the commission, working on the budget, the next 3 meetings, you the same crowd right here every year. You'll see a difference in your tax rate. They can cut these taxes if they would. There's plenty of money here, but you got to press them and make sure they bring it forward. There's multi-millions here everywhere you look, and you don't have very many people watching, to tell you the truth. But if you just have a little more attention, you can make it the next 3 meetings in a row, the same amount of people. They will pay attention to it. I guarantee you won't have the tax rates. Show up. Just show up and watch them and see what they're doing. You very seldom ever hear them mention the taxpayers at all. Period. Because you're the ones that funded this money. You're the ones paying all these people's salaries and stuff. You're funding this entire county. And I think it would be super. Same crew here, you come every trip, or I was asking that, these people come with you. Because now they do pay attention when you're here. Because if you'll just notice and watch them, if you can stay the whole meeting, that's where you find out what the story is. And I know that there's some good commissioners here and stuff. But I tell you, you need to come and watch them and make sure they're doing their job and they're doing their duty that you sent them down here to do. And you've got your budget committee chairman here, and your finance committee. They control all the money here. And if you don't keep an eye on this, you're going to end up this time and they're going to want a big hike in taxes because they've not done it for the last 2 years. They've had plenty of money, and there's still plenty of money here. But there's multi-millions here if you just know where it's at. And you ladies and gentlemen, you need to come. If you'll come the next 3 meetings in a row, you'll find out where a whole lot of stuff is here. And it'll save your pocket. Because they're going to burn you a new one on these taxes this time, because 2 years in a row, it's not phasing. We've been finding this money around here and there and everywhere. And there's multi-millions of it. And if you just pay attention as much as you do, I know you love your dogs, but you ought to love your money a little bit too, because without them, you won't have no dogs. Anyway, we're for sure watching your money, for sure. A few of us are watching it and taking care of it the best we can and keeping it up front. But that's about all I got to say right now, so thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Livingston. The next agenda item is the election of constable to fill the vacancy in the 8th district. Mr. Frazier.
I think we skipped over Charlotte.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the correction. It's my fault. I own that. We'll go back to Mr. Von Cannon, sir. Come on, you have the floor. Mr. Von Cannon is going to speak for 10 minutes. Or less. With a lot of respect.
10 minutes.
I can do that with Mr. Von Cannon without getting in trouble.
Do this.
Just passing out checks to all the commissioners, I believe.
That doesn't include it in my 10 minutes, does it?
We already have you on the clock, sir.
For some time now, there's been rumors concerning the Appalachian League leaving, or at least the whole league being disbanded by the Major League Baseball teams. It's been all over the paper, and as a matter of fact, it's getting to where some of the people are concerned that we won't have baseball here in Elizabethton in the future. The economic impact, however, of losing this entity is worth more than you would think. You would take some of the small factories that are going on here would not have the economic impact that the baseball team has on this community. Several years ago, our community lost Moody Bible Institute. A lot of effort was made to keep them here, but probably not enough because they didn't start early enough to try to negotiate a settlement to keep Moody here. That made a tremendous difference in the economy of this community. Today, we are in a community facing the possibility of losing the Appalachian League Minnesota Twins. The league was formed in 1911 with 4 or 5 independent teams not supported by the major leagues. Then it operated for 3 or 4 years, folded or at least disbanded, came back in the 20s and operated until about 1928, disbanded again. But the modern day Appalachian League was formed in 1937, and during the winter of 36 and 37, the league was put together on a firm footing with help from the major league teams. Over the years, Elizabethton, with the exception of 1956, has fielded a major league, a Appalachian League team every year. Other towns have come and gone and often rejoined the league. Interesting, the town of Irwin, for 1 year, had an Appalachian League team. Marion, Virginia, which you wouldn't think of, had one. Paintsville, Kentucky, Burlington, North Carolina still is in the league, but they've been in and out of the league over the years. For several years, the league has fielded 10 teams, playing currently 34 games at each venue or each stadium. But what I'm here to try to get a little interest is an economic compact. The payroll for the team here, being the manager, 1 or 2 others, and a lot of part-time help. And by the way, the manager is with us tonight, Mr. Valentine. I think he owned a beer company years ago, but it's gone now, Valentine Beer. Hey, he looks like some of the kids
in age that I played 8th grade ball with. But he's awfully young for a manager. Payroll, 102,000. Taxes paid in, on goods sold, not necessarily on the stadium, 18,000. Buying of local media, I suppose that includes a little bit of spots on WBJ, the local newspapers. Local vendor buys, 98,000. The Minnesota Twin buys, that's through their store, 122,000, and that is taxed. Visiting teams, 51,000. I suspect that's low, but there's no way you can really know how many parents follow the kids and stay overnight and have meals here. But we're talking about 400,000 or so dollars if you add that up as a minimum. Economists will tell you this, that money in a community multiplies itself 3 times. So you're not talking about $400,000 anymore. You're talking about $1.2 million. $1.2 million, there's plenty of industries and businesses in this town won't even touch that. Therefore, it's worth looking at to keep if we can. The seriousness of this, several years ago, the rumor was floated around, and the Minnesota Twins wanted the city of Elizabethton to upgrade their complex, and they did. How serious was Elizabethton in keeping the Twins? They spent $600,000. The city spent $600,000 to upgrade the locker rooms, etc., etc. But the Minnesota, no, it was the other way around. The Elizabeth spent $1 million too, but the Minnesota Twins did chip in $600,000 to upgrade the facility. What I would like to see on behalf of the economic benefits that they have, on the back sheet, there's more to it than just baseball. The players go out in the community, the nursing homes, they work with the kids. There's a lot of other benefits other than just entertainment of baseball. I would like to, Mr. Chairman, see if we could do a resolution as soon as possible, because Greene County tonight is voting on a resolution to support the Appalachian League teams. Will it do any good? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But the bottom line is, this would be a big loss to this community. I haven't been to many games since I used to go. I was a member of the Knot Hole Club. You know what that is. You didn't have the money to get in, so you went to the outside fence and you found your knot hole and you watched the game. That was about my extent. A task force has already been formed by the city. I would see this group, someone in this group taking the lead, Park and Recs or someone, to join them. And who would join them? I think the Park and Recs chairman or his designee, County Park and Rec. I would think that the mayor, with his clout and backing sports the way you do, would be a good member to join the city. The other person, the only man that I know in this whole occasion tonight that's got Major League Baseball experience is Ross Gardner. So he might be a good person to do. The whole thing this may be a futile effort, because maybe the league has straightened itself out. Because this was an article in today's paper from Johnson City Press after I wrote my comments 2 or 3 days ago. Bryce Valentine, I've got a minute or two left.
You got 30 seconds left.
4 minutes. Do you have anything you'd like to say to the group? This is the manager of the Twins.
Yeah, everything he's saying is correct. I mean, that was, we saw a huge economic impact as far as in the area. And from my conversation with the Twins want to be in Elizabeth. Not only are we Elizabeth's team, we're also Carter County's team. And that's been my mantra since I got here in last March, I mean about a year. And I want to bring things here to Carter County and help improve Carter County. I think that's something that this could be very beneficial for us. There is a good community support, and that's what I love about this town.
Who's on the task force with the city?
With the city,
Mike Haynes,
and
Richard Barker.
Richard Barker, Mike Simley are on that task force as well. And then I know that Mayor Kurt Alexander, there is a more mayoral task force that's actually going with the task force that's going with against Major League Baseball with the negotiations for it. And as part of that as well.
Thanks for being here, and we hope you're here for years and years to come. Because $1,200,000.
Thank you both very much.
This
Appreciate it.
$1,200,000 a day is every year. Any executive question?
Question?
I did have a question, Mr. Valentine. From your 18 season to your 19 season with the sale of alcohol, did you see an increase in attendance?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Between your 18 season and your 19 season, did you see an increase in attendance with the sale of alcohol?
Correct. We actually, so when the city was, when City rated in 18, they were at 529 fans a game. We averaged 811 fans a game.
Thank you for being here, sir. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Now it's time to...
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
did he put that in the form of a motion?
No, sir.
Yeah, okay.
We're referring that back to Mr. Jenkins, Parks and Rec, or Mr. Garland, Commissioner Garland. No motion at this time. Thank you, sir. Thank both of you. Now we will fill the vacancy in the 8th district for constable. To my knowledge, and I just talked with Ms. Booth, we only have one individual, and you have that, should have that in your packet. But the floor would also entertain a motion from that district as well. So at this, go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
Mr. Chairman, I place in motion Mr. Miles Cook as nominee for the position of constable in 8th district.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner Woodby, second. Any discussion? Any other nominations? Seeing none.
I make a motion to nomination C.
Thank you, sir.
We accept my nomination.
Thank you, sir. Madam Clerk, call the roll. Please reveal. Motion passed. Congratulations. Would you please stand, sir? Would you like to come to the podium and say?
I would.
Absolutely, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Chairman, Commissioners. I just wanted to introduce myself.
Please, order, please respect the speaker. Please.
My name is Miles Cook. First, I would like to thank you for setting my application, seeking appointment so soon, and I appreciate your consideration of the matter. I'll be short so you can get back to more pressing issues like campus. For my entire adult life, I've been in the service of the people of Carter County. I've dedicated my life, sworn oath just downstairs, for these people, for the citizens of Carter County. I will proceed that to continue in one fashion or another for the rest of my life. I served many years as a deputy sheriff, worked in corrections, patrol, narcotics division, as an FBI task force officer, and as a sergeant of the warrant service. And then eventually, I took over a patrol shift as a watch commander. As a watch commander, I was responsible for all law enforcement decisions made during a normal tour of duty,
within Carter County's 348 square miles of nearly 60,000 residents. That's a responsibility I took great honor in. After years of service, I left the Sheriff's Office to begin teaching at the Tennessee College of Applied Technology. There I teach in the study of criminal justice. I currently teach a correctional officer certification with the explicit goal for one day for it to become a basic police school in this area. I sincerely love my role in teaching a new generation of law enforcement, becoming more professional, well-trained, community-oriented, minded officer. But, as Ernest Hemingway once wrote, there is no honey but the honey of our men. Those who do it long enough and like it never care for anything thereafter. Although you can leave law enforcement once it becomes identity, the very essence of who you are, I don't believe that role can leave. I'm sure Commissioner Johnson can attest to that. I know that I have many years left in me of service to this county. And as appointed as 8th District Constable, I hope to continue to serve the people of Carter County in a role that brings safety, peace of mind, and a level of trust and comfort to its citizens. I also believe that I can bring a level of professionalism and respect that exceeds the current expectations of the office. Thank you for your consideration of time this evening. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let's give this to I think you should have in your packet consideration of electronic tablet policy and procedure. Commissioner Chairman Jenkins, you want to say anything about this before we proceed?
It's not much. I hope everybody's read over. It's just a small change from B to mid-page down to, or B2 to B2, I guess. The line 6, that's the major change in it. It says that it's the majority, or it's from the majority.
Tablet policy, right?
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about
Tablet policy.
I was way off guard there. No, there's nothing I want to add. Unless the county attorney wants to add to it.
Okay, I thought
Way off base on there.
that was number 13 on the agenda, I believe.
I was feathered down.
We voted on this one. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
I'll second it.
Motion by Mr. Chairman Jenkins, second by Commissioner Collins. Any discussion now on the tablet? The tablet policy is what we're voting on. Please call the roll. Please reveal. Motion passed. Chairman Jenkins.
If everybody can sign those and turn those in, that'd be a great help. We should have them next month or next meeting.
Appreciate the work on that, sir. Now we are down to number 13, which are the resolutions, Commissioner Campbell.
Is this for the tablets?
Yes, sir, that's what we're voting on.
Let it be made known that I do not want the tablet, and I still want the paperwork.
Let the minutes reflect that Commissioner Campbell is opposed to the tablet. Motion approved. Moving on to resolution. Resolution A is what we're talking about now. I'll turn that over to our attorney, County Attorney Josh Hart.
Okay, we'll have to vote on each of these three TDOT resolutions separately, but I'll try to summarize them all at once. Essentially, there's three separate TDOT projects. One is on basically 19E, State Route 37, and the other two are on State Route 67, which I believe is the road that goes around Fog Lake. All three are due to the flooding that we had last February. Two is to stabilize the slopes near the road, and one is to mitigate some rock slide issues. But all three require separate approval and essentially require the resolution to be adopted and the county mayor to sign off, with Roger to sign off. So TDOT can do the work. There's really no cost involved to us at all. We just simply have to agree to let them come do the work.
Thank you.
I'll answer any questions you have.
Motion to approve.
We're voting on A, motion to approve by Commissioner Keller, second Commissioner Frazier. Discussion, seeing none, call the roll, please. Bill, Motion passed on A, Commissioner County. Entertain a motion to approve on B, Commissioner Culler, second, Commissioner Frazier. Discussion, call the roll, please. Reveal, D passed as well. Pardon? I now entertain a motion to approve C, Commissioner Culler, motion, Commissioner Prophet, second, discussion. Seeing none, please call the roll. Bill vote. C passed as well.
Okay, resolution D, as we started to talk about a minute ago, is simply modifying Rule 10A, Section B2 of the Commission Rules of Procedure dealing with election and standing committees. As of now, a majority vote among the three in each district will control. This would change the rule to make that requirement unanimous among those in the district, and if not, the full commission will vote on placing you all on standing committees.
Questions for Mr. Hart? Do I hear a motion to approve?
Restate your vote.
The current rule is when we elect standing committees each year, the three of you all, so the three in each district can vote. If 2 out of 3 of you agree, that's the way the committees are set. This proposal would change that rule, so all 3 of you all would have to agree on your committee placement, and if you didn't, then the full commission would vote to place you on committees. That makes sense?
I understand.
So even if the one disagrees.
Right, unless you all are unanimous in which committees you 3 want to be on. No, right now it's 2 out of 3, so if Mr. Acuff disagreed with you two prevail. Under this rule, if anybody disagrees, the full commission votes, and it's out of your hands.
It changes the process.
This is proposed by Rules and Bylaws.
Commissioner Jenkins, do you want, Chairman Jenkins, do you want?
I think he pretty much covered it, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is what
I would say this is what we voted on last time and failed. It got sent back to the committee. This is what the committee came up with. This is what we came back with. So.
The last month it was a term limit on the standing committees. That's not in this at all. This is just simply unanimous agreement among the 3 in each district. Of course, however many are in each district, the way it's written now, if the commissioners per district are reduced, this will still be good. It's even 1 out of 2, depending on what you all do next election.
Just a modified version of where the way to get around what we voted against last month.
No, last month was about limiting how long you could serve on one committee, and this is just, you have to all agree on it, the full commission votes.
Do I hear a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion.
Chairman Jenkins made the motion, here a second?
I'll second.
Commissioner McCamey, second. Further discussion? Any more discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, call the roll, please. Motion passed, 14.
No, sir, actually it takes 16.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Requires 2/3.
Yeah. Motion passed, my fault. It's 2/3 vote, okay? We do what, we pass it, the motion failed. Correct me, the motion failed. I think it's time for us to take a break. Recess.
Can I ask real quick, anybody from the opposing side, if they have suggestions, please let me know.
Any suggestions on this policy, refer back to Chairman Jenkins. We will take a 10-minute recess at this time. Bring the meeting back over, please. Mr. Mayor, your report, sir. Everyone still here, be okay back there? Sir. Back row crowd, I tell you.
I just got a couple things. see, the governor issued some economic development grants. Carter County got $468,000. That's what's projected, for us to get. $468,495. So that'd be our part once it all goes through. We've got another $25,700 for traffic signal modernization program. It's for the red light up here at Highway 91 and Rufus Taylor. It's for the controller and signal head upgrade project. Update on the EOC. They're hanging sheetrock. They're moving doing really well on that project at the EOC. I had another meeting with Northeast State the other day with Dr. Flora. They're wanting to come next month and do a presentation for the commission on the economic impact that they feel they've had for this area. So I was going to get Mr. Chairman see if we could get them on the agenda for March commission meeting. I got a meeting in the morning with a virtual reality guy that's from Mississippi. We're going to tour the facility up workforce again tomorrow. Just as we get closer with that, hopefully we can get them that space rented. They had some presentations down at Elizabeth High School today. It was really interesting. Had a lot of colleges. Milton's College was there, Northeast State, ETH, there's a lot of different places there. Checking out the virtual reality program they have there. And I guess Doc had 7 autopsies this month. I always try to get that report out to Doc. And, other than that, unless you have any questions, that's all I got.
Questions for the mayor?
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, let's get into our committee report. Starting off with budget, Chairman Garland.
Thank you, Chairman. Budget Committee, we met, of course, this week. I want to go ahead and say this, it's brought up earlier, to clarify that there has not been any talk of tax increases, just to kind of clarify the floor on that. First that I've heard of it at all. Brad, thinks stuff like that comes out, and then you get everybody kind of in an uproar. I just want to clarify that's not been mentioned at all. And I'll get down to, you can follow along, of course, in your packets right there when we get to the amendments, but I'll start with a few things first. First one, I'll make a form of a motion to approve the additional appropriation up to $3,764.55. This money comes unassigned fund balance, and this is for additional funds for the purchase of the vehicle for the county coroner.
Your second Commissioner Frazier, any discussion?
Yeah, we passed that last month. The bid went out. It wasn't for the specific vehicle we needed. This additional cost right here will cover that equipment.
Thank you, sir. Any other discussion, questions for the chairman? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Bill, motion passed, Chairman.
Next item also, it's kind of put out there. The report came out in the article in the paper that this was, from the Veterans Office, that they reached out to put this before the Budget Committee. That was not the case. Some officials and some folks come to us asking for this increase for Mr. Batchelder, and it was brought to the budget. I think in the paper, the article read that he kind of ultimated that he wanted us to take care of it. That was not really the case. He didn't bring it to us. Either take it or leave it. So just to kind of clarify that. Also, I will move on to make a motion to approve an annual salary increase of $3,600 for the Veteran Service Officer. This is a prorated cost March 1st through June 30th to cover the fiscal year will be $1,615.85. And this will come from unassigned fund balance.
Your second motion?
I'll second.
Second, Commissioner Holden. Further discussions, questions, Commissioner?
My concern with this, on this budget meeting, and, so, they got a job offer, putting in for a job, and if you don't get this money, you're gonna take this job. I don't like the way that went around it about, you know, there's somebody who wants to, you don't break the leave, you're gonna get one. Back up. And no offense, nobody could back up to you. Before we had this brought forward, people threaten to leave if they don't get a raise. I just don't, what's going to stop somebody else from coming to, well, Logan County got this open, and if you don't give me as much money, I'm going to quit and go over there. Well, my opinion on that, no offense, that's what we're going to do. That's what we need to do. You don't need to hope to taxpayer to council is coming more rates. That's my opinion on this.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Woodby?
I'd like to just respond and make sure everybody understands, Mr. Batchelor did not approach anybody at the budget committee for this type of situation. Other office holders reached out to some of the commissioners on his behalf. He had no idea that this was happening. We've had some members of the community and office holders speak on his behalf on an outstanding job that he's doing for the veterans in this community. And just like the rest of the county employees, he's just one in many that eventually we will have to address salaries in this county. But he provides an exceptional service and with an exceptional military background.
Thank you. Commissioner Brown?
I'd just like to say that he's been here for a lot of years and he does a well job. He earns every dime he makes. He's well deserved.
Where he is, I guess a veteran, that's only a veteran's position can hold that? Okay, my understanding is we don't pay him insurance, so.
That's, I mean, he voluntarily chose not to take that.
Okay,
insurance, yes.
is that, but if we was to repost this for somebody else, we'd have to furnish, so I guess that's family insurance then, is that how, if it was offered, so?
I guess depending on that person coming in, I guess it could be negotiated. And if that was the case, Mr. Batchelor, I think he wants to stay here. He's never made the decision to say, hey, they've offered me this job. I think he's just interested in the application process right now. He's not been, they've not reached out, sit down, interview, or come and take this job, anything.
Has anybody talked to him about maybe putting it in the budget next, when this budget cycle is cut instead of now? I mean.
Well, we did that, and that's why the 161585, that was to get through this fiscal year, to bump him up to that, and we were going to address that at the budget committee, talked about that, to bring his salary during the budget hearings, during the general fund, to really address that, his salary.
I want to clarify something. I'm not against giving the man does a good job. My point is, I'm not against giving him money. But my point is, process way that we go about doing it every time.
I understand that, and that was discussed too, and that will be, hopefully not something that we have to worry about a whole lot, but it will be an individual basis that we would have to address that. We felt as a committee that this was.
I thought we'd say, quite a bit of money, but I have to pay his insurance. I mean, I hear it all, but I'm not against the man. I think the man does an outstanding job. Maybe this would be misunderstood me there. I'm not against giving him a raise, but just the way that
the procedure.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to clarify too, to Commissioner Blevins, he did not approach any of us. We had other people speak on his behalf, which I also think that shows that several of the other county employees and office holders are kind of, they want to keep him and are looking out for his best interest also. I think that speaks well of him.
I think that that's a job. He does a lot of work for the veteran, I know that.
If we've not spoken, can somebody give me where we come up with this amount? I'm just, I mean,
Well, I think that it was 37,000. I think he's currently about 33.4 or something like that, Brad, I'm not exactly sure.
I mean, I'm not against him in getting a raise. I just, is there a way we can put this to, he can add it into his budget? I mean, and then,
Well, that was it, just to show this, our support, that 8/16/15, that's basically to say, hey, we want to offer you this, just to negotiate the salary, but at come budget time, we can address the full salary coming up for next year's budget, his office.
Commissioner Oliver.
I would just like to say that I myself have gone back and forth a couple of times on this issue. So I hear Mr. Blevins' concerns. I shared those very early on when I heard about this. I know him personally, but I cannot let personal enter into this decision. So after talking to different office holders, veterans, family members in the county who have been served by this officer, and then looking at some black and white, what I call evidence, this week, which I shared with you all, but couldn't comment on it at the time. But now that we're in public forum, what I wanted you all to see on those documents that I shared is that the veteran population in Carter County has been decreasing every year, but the benefits that they're obtaining is going up. And I can't say that that's 100% due to our veteran services officer, but I would have to say it's in large part due to the support he provides our veterans and their families. So population going down, benefits going up is what I wanted you all to see over those years that I shared with you earlier today. So I too don't want to start, I don't want to set a precedent to where every employee in the county thinks that I'm just going to make these demands and get a raise. But I had to look at this at a very individual basis. I had to look at it based on facts. And, if we do lose him, I am told that it could take 18 months for a new veteran coming into that role to get the certifications that they need so that things, get back to where they are today. So we would kind of be losing 18 months of that kind of support while we waited on somebody else to get those certifications. So there's a lot of things to consider here, and I hope that other county employees will look at that if this passes tonight, and they'll see that we look at everything as we discuss this. Thank you.
Thank you.
I just want to say, I did some research, reach out to Washington County. Their VSO makes $45,000 a year. When Mr. Batchel was rehired back in 2015, they brought his salary in line with everybody else in the surrounding area at $30,000. Sullivan County just started up. I believe their starting salary is $40,000 for this position. Again, Washington County's $45,000. So because of the legislative body not giving raises over so many years, he's fell behind. And that's not saying against the other employees here who deserve raises as well. And again, I'm not a big fan of doing it right before budget season, but again, he has so many accreditations that somebody else will have to get, that I feel like it's imperative that we kind of reach out and to show our support for him.
Commissioner Campbell.
I spoke to him personally, and as you said, he's a nice man, and he's really decorated. People from here, I'm gonna say it halfway to Washington, would probably want him. Even the Benton would probably want him. He's decorated high, and I believe it would be really unfortunate to lose him. And Brad Johnson did a great job telling me, a lot of things that he was decorated for, because he wouldn't say it. I think, he deserved what he did. We're fortunate to have veterans all over this county.
And let me follow up on, that was the consensus of the budget committee. We understood his credentials. That job takes specific credentials as well. He's achieved all of those. And I think that's one reason Sullivan County is going after this gentleman, because he's got that. Say, hey, we might give you a little bit more, and we're trying to keep him here doing the best we can.
Besides that, you're saving $200 in insurance on this one.
Is the commission in the norm? Do you negotiate with people that work for us to
I mean, this is.
You said it's standard.
It's not standard, it's not. I mean, of course, you got, like, a lot of elected official positions, those are mandated, through the state.
No,
So,
I understand that.
but, I mean, this is kind of a little bit odd, I'll say, from my experience on here, yes.
I'm trying to make sure every commissioner speaks before I go back to Commissioner Whitby.
I was just gonna let Commissioner Holder know that I had passed those same charts out in budget. The budget committee already had those, so we had the black and white as far as the numbers that you sent out. I've done the research on him, so that kind of led us to our decision, not just, vouching for him, so we had passed those out in budget.
Thank you, Chairman. I agree with Commissioner Holden. I know David personally and his wife Irene, both of them are veterans. He does a great job for folks in our county, and I really appreciate his work ethic. I would like to ask my friends on the Financial Management Committee, do you think this does any damage to the salary study that you're undergoing currently, or is it a moot point?
And that was discussed at budget. I mean, this might take 6 months, a year before we find out anything as far as the employee study. And this was just kind of a small increase just to basically show our allegiance to Mr. Batchelor in his office.
Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm on to Commissioner Holder and Dr. Acuff and everybody's comments on it. I want you to understand that that's a hard deal to make sometimes. I was coming as a retired employee of this county from the law enforcement side of the house, where I see fellow law officers, all they have to do is cross the street for an $8,000 increase. Now, of course, you all know that we voted and we are now in the process of a wage compensation examination and research that will be presented to you at the end of it. And it's the first one that's ever been done in this county that we can find out. That job specific itself, also being a retired military person, as an E9 in the military, I can tell you it would take a person with no less than qualifications, has 10 years of active duty, even just mildly know just a basic principle. As long as I spent in the areas of where I've worked and all, the family and all is dependent upon that job. Not so much the service member, because remember his benefit starts really after his passing on for his duties that he's performed. And it's very critical, and it's something that you really can't get in a class. Now, keep in mind too that our counties adjacent to us, particularly the federal side of the house, the VA, every one of their coordinators in a like position has come from Carter County. And then when I see that my law officers and other people going to other counties for work, that's what turned the light bulb and put the question mark up and said, well, why are we losing our good people? It's because we do not pay our people equal to what everybody in our surroundings is. That's why we're doing this study, to make sure that we bring everybody in line. So Washington County, Sullivan County, nobody else can begin to start taking all of our good fruits, because we provide, our responsibility to provide our citizens with the best quality of service conceivably possible. So it don't do me any good to lose anybody here in the county. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Caller.
I'd just like to remind everyone that he was here many years ago, and I don't know the reason he left unless it was salary, but he also came back when the salary was increased. There might be some information that you might need to know.
Thank you. Further questions? Any other any statements? Anything? Madam Clerk, call the roll. Please reveal. Motion passed, Chairman.
Thank you. The next item, I'll put in the form of a motion, is approve an amount up to $2,000. This is from unassigned fund balance for additional meetings resulting from the division of 4 committees. So we're looking to have more nights for committee. We need more money in the budget. $2,000.
Second. Here a second. Commissioner Frazier, second. Any discussion?
Is this a split of that committee?
I'm not sure exactly how, they talked about having, maybe health and welfare, building and grounds, and then also the two other ones, law enforcement.
That's what was actually.
Yes, it's supposed to be 2 nights. Right.
Any other questions? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
I don't want to do something wrong here, so may I ask a question? As a member of that committee,
Yes, ma'am.
can I vote or not?
Yes, I refer to Josh, but in my opinion, yes.
Yeah, you're voting to split the meetings for the committee. I mean, I understand it's in a roundabout way increasing your compensation. I mean, I don't know how else you can do it. Without the members of that committee voting, there's not even enough here to pass it. It would be a moot point, I mean.
Okay, thank you.
Reveal the vote.
Rhonda, did you vote? You didn't vote, Rhonda.
Well, I didn't know if I had to abstain, so that was what she was asking.
That cover your question? Thank you. Please reveal. Motion passed, Chairman.
Thank you. The next item, and I'll put in the form of a motion, is to write off the remaining balance of $1,798.62 from a prior year cash shortage at the animal shelter. This stems back from 14, 15 years. The animal shelter committee, and I've got all signatures of that committee, they signed off on this. And this is basically this, because this shows up on our audit every year while this is there. If we don't, this is, what is trying to, we forgive that so it won't show up on our books anymore. But there's no money, we're not trying to give any money back, take any money away, there's no money involved. It's just to write off that amount.
Second. Dr. Acuff, second. Any questions? Commissioner?
What does this stand? What's this wrong?
Well, this, I think 14, 15, one of those years, something like that, some money was given to Friends of the Shelter. I think some money may have got misplaced or something like that. It was never found. And this wasn't under the leadership of Ms. Posada at the time. Also, I will make that clear for the record. But just to, I guess, some mishandling of funds, something like that.
Commissioner Culler?
I was just going to try to explain this. Back several years ago with a different director, some payments were made and they were put into the wrong category. We came up with the best that we could determine, the $77,000 that we paid back. The other we could not locate as to where it went and why it was missing. So that's why we're asking you to write that off, because we cannot determine that we actually got the money in any form.
This is cleaning up.
Keeps coming up until we pay it back.
Yes, that's right. If you want to talk to that.
It was a finding for a couple of years or so. Now it's in the footnotes, but will continue to be in the audit report unless this is written off. It's basically the situation with it.
And that was unanimous from the shelter board also, to approve this.
There's no fund balance involved in any of that for paying anything out. It's just on the audit, it's not even on the county's records.
Thank you, Mr. Byrd. Any other questions? Madam Clerk, call the roll. Motion passed, Chairman.
Thank you. And you can follow along. This is budget amendments coming up now if you want to back it on that too. First item, I'll put in the form of a motion to approve General Fund 101, budget amendment number 7, a total of $104,517.81, $4,243.53 coming from unassigned fund balance.
Your second. Second, Commissioner Travis Hill. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please. Please reveal. Motion passed, Chairman.
The next item I'll put in the form of a motion is to approve General Fund 101. And this, we separated this from the full amendments. This is Budget Amendment 7A. This is one item. This is the one that's gone back and forth on amounts from the clerk and master's office. First, they wanted to take $15,000 with additional reserve funds, but now it's zero from unassigned fund balance, but they are requesting the $14,860.06 coming from reserve fund balance.
Your second on the motion, second, Commissioner Dollar. Any questions? Questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
But I'll say that is for where you got help coming in there. Mr. Laporte, who's going to be taking her position in July, he's been working in that office.
Please reveal. Motion passed.
Thank you. Now, the next item, I'll put in the form of a motion to approve Solid Waste and Sanitation Fund 116, Amendment 6, a total of $43,100, nothing from fund balance.
Your second, Commissioner Keller. Any questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll. I'm trying.
Use heels, man.
Yes, he is.
Motion passed, Chairman.
Next item, I'll put in the form of a motion to approve Health Department Fund 117, Amendment Number 1, total of $6,000, zero from fund balance.
Second. Second on the motion. Second, Commissioner Frazier. Any questions? Questions, seeing none, please call the roll, Madam. Motion passed, Chairman.
Next item, put in the form of a motion to approve Drug Control Fund 122, Amendment 5, a total of $1,662.02, nothing coming from fund balance.
Second, Commissioner Frazier. Questions? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please. Motion passed, Chairman.
Next item, I'll put in the form of a motion to approve Highway Public Works Fund 131, Amendment 7, a total of $7,100, nothing coming from fund balance.
Your second, Commissioner Blevins. Questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Motion passed, Chairman.
Next, I'll put the form of a motion to approve General Purpose School Fund 141, Amendment 7, a total of $155,501.01. Two items, $5,140.15 coming from the General Purpose School unassigned fund balance.
Second, Commissioner Campbell. Questions? Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Motion passed, Chairman.
Thank you. The next item, I'll put the form of a motion to approve Central Cafeteria Fund 143, Amendment 5, total of $208,347, zero from fund balance.
Your second, Commissioner Frazier, second. Discussion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Motion passed, Chairman.
Thank you. Next item, I put the form of a motion to approve the monetary donations made to the animal shelter, $1,600, and the school department, $36,450.
Second.
Second, Commissioner Travis Hill, discussion. Madam Clerk, call the roll. Motion passed, Chairman.
I will add the $36,450, that was for money received from, I'm not exactly from who, but for the robotics program that they've got going on. So it's an active program and pretty successful too, so we got some money coming into us from that. So thank you for that. All right, the next item, to approve the non-monetary donations made to the animal shelter, a value of $745.61.
Motion second. Second, Commissioner Peller. Discussion. Please call the roll. Motion passed, Chairman.
All right, thank you. And I will mention, I know budget hearings are starting to come up, and I know Brad's working on some draft proposals from offices and outside agencies. I've got the calendar here. March 11th, we publish a notice in newspaper for hearing dates. First meeting, April 6th, and that will be solid waste outside agencies. Of course, welcome to all the committee, any public that wants to attend as well. They are open forums, and everyone's welcome on that.
You have anything on agriculture?
I'm off agriculture. I think Mr. Hill can probably, he's chosen as chairman this evening too. But I can talk about a couple others real quick while I'm up here. Keep Carter County beautiful. Just a quick update, a couple dates that you do want to mention. We are, of course, an active group, always working. Tweetsie Trail Planning, February 29th is coming up. That's on a Saturday. There's several sites on the Tweetsie Trail that we have identified, kind of teaming up with Elizabeth and Park and Rec on that. They've got some guys willing to dig some holes for us. Some of their employees want to donate some trees as well. So that's one good date. And then the Great American Cleanup is this is on the Tweetsie Trail as well. April 25th is Saturday for that also. Move on to the Chamber of Commerce real quick. Of course, appreciate Lou coming out, and they're doing a good job for us. Seth Haas is his kind of assistant in that office. They do a good job. Legislative breakfast, we'll mark this on the calendar, March 20th, 7:30 a.m. at TCAT. And I saw Mr. Bogart's face. They got something coming up March 6th through the 8th, I believe. That's a heritage Over Mountain Institute, just a kind of cultural heritage thing at the Sycamore Shoals. That was on a flyer I got. And we'll also mention, I don't know if it'll be brought up or not, I did see from the planning office, I think Jake Cook welcomed in addition to his family today, baby boy. So we want to congratulate them. That's all.
Thank you, sir. Building and grounds, who the vice chairman, Commissioner Holden.
Building and grounds only has one recommendation tonight. If you all have questions on anything else that's going on, please ask them. I'd like to put in the form of a motion that we allow a lot of obsolete equipment that is being stored in our Carter County Clerk's office area at the present time to be cleaned, destroyed, whatever you want to call it, and then put on govdeals.com to be sold, make a little bit of money back for that office. If Mary Hughes has anything she'd like to add, if anybody has any questions. She had recommended BIS to destroy them and then keep the equipment, and the Building and Grounds Committee decided that we'd like to try to make that little bit of money. So that's how the govdeals.com handled that.
Is there a second on the motion? Second. Second by Greg, now discussion. Anything, any questions? Not, please call the roll.
happy the work that's being done there. It's coming along, it looks great.
Education, Chairman Ward, Chairwoman Ward, education.
I don't have anything to add, but I believe all the board has some things he'd like to say and take some questions.
Look, to make sure that I was wanting to extend an invitation to anybody that's interested. Can't hear you. Pick up. Yeah.
All about
I'll speak up. All right. The Battle of the Bill, that's it's grown into a real big event. The area high school CTE programs are going to be participating, and I guess in see, this coming weekend, looking here, I was trying to make sure I got the dates right. Let's see here, 22nd.
22nd, 23rd, what you gave us.
21st and 22nd.
23rd is also a day, Sunday.
Well, let's see here. I got my Saturdays and Sundays.
That's what
I'm sorry, it's 22nd, 23rd. You're right. It's at East TSU in the Mini Dome, and I know Saturday and Sunday schedule is going to be probably from around noon to about 3:30. What they'll do is they'll have their projects displayed, and then on Saturday they'll actually, the judges will actually go through and the kids will be doing their presentations. Hampton on that, I guess that's where I'm going here soon. Hampton, Unaka, Loudon, and Happy Valley. All four schools partnered and continues to work together to be very successful. They've got a very unique product this year that they're entering into the contest. I think I made a mention in our educational committee that if I told Charlie I'd have to take him out in the back alley and shoot him, so it's that top secret. But I think he said it's been announced in the newspaper, so I don't know if it has or not. I'm not going to give up any trade secrets. But they will be on Sunday. It's really interesting. I go on Sunday because that's when the judges around 2:30, 3 o'clock will make the presentations to the first, second, third place winners. Science Hill, Bristol, all of our area Elizabeth and CTE programs are in. I'd like to take this opportunity and commend the people involved. These teachers from each one of these 4 locations, the time that they're up at Unaka tonight in the body shop working, and they are pretty much working every night. The kids are there, they're enthusiastic. I think that Rossi mentioned something about the robotics. We've got robotics in a lot of our schools, in our high schools, and one particular program has just really grown and really was the feeder. It was Happy Valley Middle, and those kids now are sophomores, juniors, and seniors at Happy Valley High School. And they just most recently competed in the competition in Memphis, and then this past weekend they went to another location, and I'm sorry, but I was looking for the email and I can't find the email, but they had texted me this weekend and told me that they had won first place in a lot of categories this past weekend. So the robotics team at Happy Valley High School has been very active, very successful. As far as these people with the CTE program and the robotics, the confidence that they're building in these children by taking their time to work with them, and then taking their time and take them on these trips is so valuable to these kids' lives. I think I told you this story, and it's really worth repeating. There's a lot of these kids. There's one particular child that was going to a competition last year, And they got to the Super Walmart on I-26, and she looked at her friend. She's a freshman. She was in a CTE program in one of the high schools, and is on a band. And she told her friend she'd never been no further than this before. And they actually went to Chattanooga. So if you think about from that point, the 26 at Super Walmart, for that child, that journey from there to Chattanooga and back was all new. Everything was new. I've been to Chattanooga. You know, it's nothing new to me. But for a child who's never been past the Super Walmart on I-26, that's a big deal. And that's what's building confidence, getting them out and getting them around other kids. And I'll tell this last story, and then I'll give you the last two pieces of business. This robotics team that Happy Valley has, there was a board meeting last month, and we asked for each one of the kids to talk a little bit about their trip to Memphis and the competition, and they spoke with such confidence about competing. I laughed because one of them, in a conversation before we got into the meeting, was talking about the Nationals last year, and not when the world competition in Louisville. They intentionally got there that morning and set up a booth beside China. And the reason they wanted to set up beside China because they were one of the top contenders. And one of them whispered to me that we traded, or we stole a lot of trade secrets. So that's how serious it is. But it's a joy. It's a joy to watch, you know, kids and these different programs, extracurricular, excel and build and gain confidence. The other two pieces of information, Mr. Taylor and Ms. Magic are working. We have went to look at a couple locations for the new program that he's going to be putting in next year, and it will be the Farm Tech program. This program will be a fall semester, it'll be a fall semester program. It will have the class content piece, and then they will go out and they will be putting them at different pharmacies to learn and to understand what it takes to be a pharmacy tech, which is a good opportunity for these kids to see if that is something that they want to go into. Because it pays good, and there's pharmacies on every corner. So, you know, that's a new program that's up and coming. And the last piece of business I think we discussed, Mr. Taylor actually went to the Educational Committee and he shared a lot of this and more. But the last piece I want to mention is this is a program that we'd like to duplicate in other trade areas. But Massey Electric has partnered with Carter County Schools, and they are going to be working with the electrician teacher at Happy Valley, and there'll be so many kids. Now, this is a transport program, so kids from Hampton, United, and Cloudland can actually go and be a part of this. But basically what they're going to do, Massey Electric is going to invest the time and give kids opportunity, see what their work ethics are like, see what their attendance, and you know, make sure they're drug-free. Any kid who's interested, Massey is going to bring them on and put them into an apprentice program and get them certified as electrician after they get through the course of the program. They like to train their own people. Massey Electric does. Pretty big outfit. Love to see something in the plumbing, HVAC. You know, there's some big contractors out there, subcontractors out there as well. So those are some things that's happening. Tickled to, like I said, see our kids get exposed and be exposed to new experiences. So these are some new experiences for our kids. Are there any questions that you have, Ms. Brown?
How's the sickness in the schools?
I'm sorry?
How's the sickness in schools?
Checked on that today. That 3-day break helped us a lot. It was, and it is every year, it hits and it's sort of spotty. when I say spotty, Happy Valley, I was trying to think, we had a pocket of areas where we had attendance 89, 90%, and then we have Kingberg and 2 or 3 other schools, it was at 67%. We had 33% absent. But one of the biggest problems, and as we looked at it, was faculty and substitutes. We had so many faculty members, I think we had 11 out at 12 out at Hampton, 11 out at Cloudland, and several other locations where we had 8, 9 out, we had 9 out at Hunter, and then we couldn't find substitutes. So that was 3 days, and it really helped us because I talked to the coordinating school health lady this afternoon, and she said we're looking good countywide. So it is looking much better. Thank you for asking.
You heard anything about your ball field, the insurance or anything on the street?
Okay. The Happy Valley High School softball and baseball field, one of the things, we didn't have really any damage. We was very lucky this time around. When the first incident happened last year, I think it was Phil Nave and Tony Garland was talking about this is a 50-year flood. Well, since then we had 2 other 50-year floods. We had a media person out there the other day, and he actually said that he talked to the meteorologist before he come to the fields to, do a film shot, and asked if this was a new norm. And of course, the meteorologist said, you have to go 5, 6, 7 years before you can actually see what the norm is going to be weather-wise. But we know for a fact that right now, based on Roger and his department helped out by getting the dam of debris. It was probably 6 foot or taller, wasn't it, Roger, that was blocking it up last year. So the first incident was indeed a 50-year flood. The second incident probably wasn't a 50-year flood, but once it got dammed up, the water shot back across. So that was 2 instances. This time around, what the pictures that I saw prior to the field flooding was just so much rain that had puddled up on these fields. But then the rain or the water backed up and started coming across real slowly. So whenever it come across in a slow run, it didn't wash or undo anything really that the insurance had paid for last year. And we actually met with Gary Smith today, the MA director, and went through some numbers and estimates. Still a possibility that FEMA might reimburse us for items that wasn't covered, which was a lot of topsoil to try to get things put back in place. But we had no damage last week. It looked bad. It really, once I drove down there the morning after, I guess, it rained so hard for 2 days and that thing was flooded again, my heart dropped to my feet because these kids now, this is going on the 2nd year that there's a good chance they're not going to get to play on that field. But here's what we're looking at. If we can get some weather and it dries up a little bit, the outfields need to be rolled, compacted, and there's a very good chance softball and baseball, but a better chance for softball because softball field, if you notice this time, it went around it, it didn't get up on the softball field. So there's still a chance to salvage the season to where they can actually play home games at home. So that's sort of where we're at with that. Now, one thing that we are going to do, and I've talked to the board about it, we'll have our maintenance director to get a surveyor, and we're going to do some elevation shots down our side, because one of the things that we've got to be careful about is if we go in and try to add 2 feet to the top of the berm that runs down that creek, but if we push it over on our neighbor, we've got a bigger problem. So what we've got to do is get a surveyor to shoot both sides just to see how much room we've got. And if we've got 1.5 foot here, 2 foot here, then, do some work and try to get it firmed up. Now, one of the problems, and I guess if any of you were down through there around that time where the water was so bad, is behind the barbecue place. There's a huge dam of debris behind the barbecue place, which is undoubtedly, slowing down and pushing back the water was coming from behind Half Valley Elementary back down towards, by the ball fields and then through the bridge and around, but, that's on, private property. Yes, that's not county property, is it?
No, it's not. It's private property.
That's private property, but, that's probably one of the problems right now. That's actually flooding him out because this person would have over onto his property. But, that's where we're at, and, luckily, there's no insurance claim or anything that had to be filed. The maintenance director and the baseball coach got down there right before it started coming across and started piling up and got everything on the ground up to high ground. So I commend those two gentlemen for doing that. Any more questions?
Excellent work.
Who said that? Is that Charlie? Oh.
I didn't say that.
You say that.
But I will say, you know, it's on your 5 substitutes short, it's more like 50.
You can't miss.
Substitutes short.
When we were going through the
Yeah, it
sickness.
says 5 on there, I said it is.
No, we had probably 5 short of the little building.
I know, that's what I'm saying, it's more like 50 short.
Right.
Around there.
Anybody wants to substitute, we're taking applications. Katie, do you have a question?
Yeah, this kind of off topic, but I've got a question. Does the board discuss anything about the youth clubs and the affiliation of how they're affiliated with the school system and the kind of some of the problems that are arising from their actions?
I've had a discussion with, I went to one of their meetings.
Yeah.
You know, they're a separate entity. Now, here's some of the facts that I got that I didn't know. Youth Club has been in operation for 57 years. They've had 3 presidents in 57 years. You know, this last incident that was so highly publicized was just an oversight at one of the locations, and they made it right. They made it right. They do have, I guess, it's just like TWSAA, they do have certain guidelines that you have to meet. One of them is that you're a Carter County resident, you go to school in Carter County, and no fault of this kid or this mom or dad, this kid wasn't, but just like I told them, after it was all said and done, they did the right thing. The kid got punished, and that was the wrong part of it, after some other people had sort of made a mistake. But they backed up and they did the right thing. What we've always done, and this goes back as far as I can remember, is our agreement basically is, you know, you use our facility, each location, and of course, clean up after yourself. We've never, you know, charged them any utilities or anything else, and they sort of manage and run their own organization. And I'll be quite honest with you, my personal opinion is we have enough. It's a big enough challenge for us to manage our middle school and elementary programs, high school, you know, elementary and middle school, as well as TWS, Tennessee Middle School Association affiliated. I don't want to get into youth club business. I think they really, as an organization, and body, and that night, that meeting, I was very impressed. They had all their officers there, very professional. They had a very good conversation, and like I said, they actually backed up and did the right thing, that didn't punish a child for somebody else's decisions. I think that's always a good decision, and they made the right decision. So, anything else? Yes.
I just want to touch base that the Hampton Bulldog Middle School team finished 3rd in the state in the middle school tournament.
That's why Dr. Moore's already explained.
I think the Wayne took the air out of Rosie, you know.
Put it in TV?
That's good. That's all, that's what I was going to say. Okay. Thank you. Time's up. Excellent work.
Chairman Johnson, Financial Management Committee.
I do not have any motions coming from the financial management, but I do have a couple items of great importance, not only does this commissioners, but one of the main ones is, you know, that we have approved for the Evergreen company to come in and do our wage compensation, surveys, determinations, make recommendations to this full commission and to the office holders of the county. They have already commenced the work. I just want to throw the flag up to office holders, department heads, supervisors, and all employees. During this process, there's going to be questionnaires written to all of our employees for their input, information on their background, information on the certifications, anything of vital importance to their job to where we can categorize them to where we can compare with outside agencies and outside counties. Please do not take the action where you think, oh, they ain't gonna do anything. These questionnaires and these personal interviews and everything is the main meat of the whole thing. If you don't want to take time for it, that's how much time I'm gonna give it to you when it comes time for your pay raise. This is to be used, it is an information highway for the commissioners to come to a determination as to whether we are properly paying our employees for the work and the services they do for our county in comparison to counties surrounding us, counties of like size and population within our region, and counties of population within our state that's close to us. All right, so please work with us on that. Next thing that we are in the process of, keep in mind that we are in the process of, in the discussion and coming up with policies about non-premium retirement plans, investments, matching investments for our employees.
Would someone shut the door for me? Sorry. Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
Okay, that's what's wrong. Matching contributions, just as a simple, keeping it on the elementary level. We hadn't put that level, we have not adopted the level of your contribution yet, but if you put $25 in, and the county will match that $25, so when you retire, you will have a retirement fund when I'm done. If you get $25 free, would you not want to put 25 in? To get 50 out of 25, if you don't, sometimes I can't conceive something, it's like why you waste much time on it. But you'd be surprised that also we're looking at writing policy on bonuses and longevity pay. It's in its infancy. If there's any input that you all please forward to our committee, it's always needed. And the last comment I have, Mr. Chair, is what Dr. Ward spoke about concerning the CTE. I paid a visit to schools. I was shown the secret project. I had to learn the secret handshake, password. You could not, coming from our high school system, getting my start into the CTE, it was above Van Husk, taught me how to start drawing, and that's how I retired as an engineer. Just failed. To see how proud these young people in this high school, and the big majority of this is on their own free time. This isn't during school year. And I've seen, a couple of the young men that were meek and you've always in school had these that never speak up. They're there. They participate, but they're the quiet ones that can take a podium and make a presentation that is literally unbelievable. And the thing that spurs them is our instructors, our teachers, going through college and everything. A professor comes in, he says, I don't care whether you learn or not, I still get a paycheck. Whether you pass your course or not, who cares, there's gonna be 60 more just like behind me. But these teachers have such commitment, personal commitment, to build our young people up in these schools, that they're so competitive. And it's often say, and then again, I applaud them, that this is top secret, because we don't want them to ask them what we're doing in Clark County. And they included the other young people, the other high schools in one big joint project. And if you'll go to ETSU meeting, it will really amaze you what these young people are putting together in competition. And I mean, they're second to none. Is there any questions for financial management? Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. Thank you. Sure.
Health and welfare, Dr. Eric Cody.
I just refer you to the minutes that are in your packet and bring to light one information item that will be coming before you probably in April. As you know, there's been some discussion with the Living Waters Drinking Center closing. They were essentially our only homeless facility in the county for various reasons. We'll be discussing at the March Health and Welfare meeting about homelessness in the county and what our posture will be. I have reached out to Bert Rosen, who is the president and CEO of Knoxville Area Rescue Ministries. This is their 60th year of operation. They have been caring for and getting people off the streets, retooling them to be productive members of society. And Mr. Rosen has agreed to come in April to do a workshop for us. Hopefully we'll include the city, our area churches, or other organizations who have an interest in this particular topic to talk about helping those who are less fortunate than we are, those who are homeless. So I just ask you to look on the calendars for April. I'll give you a date probably at the March meeting because we want participation not only from county commission, but also the city council, as well as other organizations, particularly churches in the county. So I think it's an opportunity for us. No, government is not going to be able to solve this problem. We have a unique position working together with the city to bring and shed light on that problem. So I just remind you that it will be coming before you. If you'd like to come to Health and Welfare in March, we would love to have you around the table. We're going to have a roundtable discussion about what pertinent questions we'll have for Mr. Rosen. He's going to bring some of his staff and board members from the Knoxville Area Rescue Ministries. So thanks.
Thank you, sir. Highway Committee, Chairman Clemens.
No report, but Roger's got the meeting. We're good.
Thank you, sir. Landfill, Commissioner Color, Chairwoman Color.
After minutes, I do have two items I need to bring before you. In your minutes, there was some there was a motion by Mr. Gary Bailey that we speak with our attorney regarding the donation of an air compressor. When we purchased our new building, I think we came in contact with three, and Benny said that the Stony Creek Fire Department was in need of one, and he requested that we ask Attorney Horton about donating that. You'll find on your desk an agreement, and I'm sorry that wasn't in the packet. Mr. Horton and I just got together and prepared this for you today. So I would like to make a motion that we pass this agreement, that we donate an air compressor to the Stony Creek Fire Department.
Second. Commissioner second. Any discussions, questions? Madam Clerk, call the roll. Mr. President.
Thank you, and Benny will thank you, and I know Stony Creek will thank you. The next item I need to bring forth is, unfortunately, it was left off of a meeting in August. I'm going to try to cover myself by saying it's probably during the fire and there was a lot going on. But at our August meeting, our former member, Robin McCamey, after some discussion, made the motion that we would charge $20 for an untarped vehicle entering the landfill. and I had not brought that to you, and I apologize. That was supposed to start January 1, 2020. This came about after Mr. Lyons visited Jefferson County. I think it is a state law that if we have an uncovered disposal truck, there is a fee to be charged. So I would like to make the motion that we put forth a $20 fee for untarred vehicles entering the landfill beginning March the 1st.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Ward, any discussions, questions?
Where does that money go? I mean,
Well, I assume it would go to the landfill.
Other questions?
We'll be running
Mr.
proper
Jenkins?
notice in the newspapers, proper notice in the newspapers.
He would probably put something up there, but again, like I said, it's actually a state law. But we could have, make sure the newspaper gets right up about it, but probably he would put up a notice there. But he knew he'd done this, and he reminded me when somebody asked him, I think Mr. Garland asked him about that at a meeting, and I said, yeah, we're supposed to be charging $20. He said, we need to take it to the commission. So like I said, I apologize for that, but I think it was right after the fire and everything.
Mr. Brown?
Okay, is this like every truck, every trailer, and the second part of that question is, does the people at the person at the landfill, do they charge them?
Yes.
So in other words, if they pull up and they're not tarped, it'll be automatic $20.
If they don't, they can turn around and leave and come back and talk more.
That's correct.
Yeah.
They what? They can turn around and leave and come back to the truck.
Commissioner Garland?
I was going to say, who's kind of policing that? Is that the lady that's feeding the trucks there?
Mr. Prophet?
Since that's already a state law, I don't see this is necessary. That's double jeopardy kind of. You get charged to dump your stuff because you're not going to cover it, but you got the chance of getting fined on the highways if you're covered. So I don't see necessity in this.
Well, I think this came up in the Carter County Beautiful meeting as well, did it not, Mr. Carter?
Yeah, I mean, statistically, about 80% of the trash and litter you see on highways comes from uncovered loads. That's what that's meant for. The night that you had your meeting, I was speaking about it, he said, yes, that's into effect because they pulled over one of my trucks. Actually. So
I would clarify, the state law is driving on the road with an unparked vehicle, not coming to the landfill. That's something we can charge or not charge. The state law is driving on the road with an unparked vehicle.
But we would be taking care of that problem as well, because they know they're going to get charged once they get to the landfill, and that would be taking care of them driving on the highway as well.
This actually came up when we was having a problem with the nails.
Right.
And he
That's what
brought
I
it
said,
in,
oh, it's
basically,
not
as they're going to the land, it's falling out, and then he's got to clean it up, and then the nails are stuck out in the nails.
But like I said, he had been to Jefferson County, and they were charging $20 fee for uncharged vehicles.
Other questions? Mr. Frazier?
One of the caveats to that, if you're taking just like a bicycle there to dump, does it have to be tarred?
Bicycle wouldn't be carrying garbage, would it?
No, I'm saying if I'm bringing a bike there to dump.
No, that wouldn't be untouched debris that would be blowing out. Sorry, I misunderstood what you said.
Commissioner Von Cannon?
Counselor, I wonder about the legality of this, because if my dog goes out and poops in somebody's yard and they say that they fined me $20 for doing that, this hasn't been challenged in court. Are you telling us that this is legal?
Yes, sir, it is legal if the county commission approves a fee. It's an additional fee to be charged at the landfill per load that comes in. The state law part of it has been in effect for years. You're not supposed to drive on the road, and if you get pulled over, you get a ticket. If you don't get pulled over, no harm, no foul. But we're saying if you come to the landfill with a load that doesn't have tarp on it, we can charge you, and they can choose to pay it and dump or turn around and leave. We can do it, and I'm not aware of specific challenge in court. I know it's done in other places statewide.
Other questions?
And they can't do it.
come back to get weighed, they got to pay a $20 fine.
But if they come back and they've got a chart, they don't have to.
Commend you, Mr. Cole, on the work that you do.
Commissioner Garland? I think Mr. Frazier had a pretty good question right there as far as what, there is some kind of gray area. If you haul anything up there and dump it, it has to be covered, or you can take anything you want.
I'm sorry that Mr. Lyons isn't here, he's very ill, in fact, but he went to Jefferson County, I'm sure he learned some of the rules that they were putting into place, and I'm sure, knowing Benny, he's probably looked at what the state law says, so I'm sure if it's an overloaded truck and there's possibility of things falling out, that
Well, back to the question you had, that's the issue. That's the rub, is whose discretion is it, what qualifies as a load that has to be tarred versus what doesn't, and the differentiation in that, how we treat people, that's the legal issue.
I think if you're gonna do it, I think you should follow all not to be exempt nothing, because if you do, like Attorney Arden said, that we could be under a lawsuit. Will you go up there and dump your load, and I go in?
I'm having to try to keep it. Commissioner Wood.
My only question is, Commissioner Fuller, would it create issue with the person that's actually making that decision as far as with the person bringing the trash? Controversy?
Well, again,
That's what
I'm
you
sure
don't-
that Benny would talk with the ladies in the office
Right.
and give them a description of what is supposed to be covered. In other words, if I go up there with my pickup truck and it's almost falling off the sides, that should be covered. But if it's down in the bed and not moving, that wouldn't be covered.
Mr. Brown?
I'm on the landfill committee, and I really have issue with this for the simple reason of, you're doing good to get people to take their trash to the landfill to start with and pay the price. I hate to say that, but that's the truth. And then, when you get them there, I mean, you've got people that's doing good to get it on the back of the truck to get it there. And I'm scared to death that once we've had issues in our district with them dumping over banks, with dumping here, there, and everywhere, I'm scared to death if they get paid off, they're gonna take it and dump it somewhere else, and then we're gonna have worse problems than we've got now.
Commissioner Travis Hill.
I just think we should table this for a month or send it back to committee for more clarification of what loads are going to be covered, so there's no gray area. It's either black or white. We either tarp it all or we don't tarp any of it.
That's okay with me, I'll be glad to take it back. Like I said, I was just pointing out that I had forgotten in August, so I'll be glad to take it back to the committee.
You want to withdraw that?
I will withdraw the motion.
Thank you, ma'am.
And that's all I have.
Thank you very much. Law enforcement, Mr. Hill, Vice Chair.
Law enforcement didn't meet this month.
Okay, nominating Commissioner Woody.
I'll let the minutes reflect.
Thank you, ma'am. Rules and bylaws.
Let the minutes reflect.
Thank you, sir.
Along with Parks and Rec as well.
Okay, any boards or anything on any boards that we need to talk about?
We just give a quick, we have our meeting tonight, so I'll give you a better summary next month, but on agriculture, we met today and we accepted Dr. Acuff, Commissioner Tester, and Tracy Bowles. But we're still working on the painted glass for the Ag Center. We had 4 people compete in our the upper 8 counties. We had one first place at Little Milligan Elementary. They're actually wanting to set up like a commercial kitchen, a large meeting area, so we've talked to Dr. Acuff, we're going to set up a meeting for them to go up to workforce development, look at one of the offices up there to see if that would work. We're basically going to teach people to cook and can and stuff like that. Ms. Vicky's out here, so she can touch on this here. Last year they did something called On My Own at Unaka High School. This year they're doing it at all the high schools.
Yes.
Can you touch on that and kind of describe it? I didn't get to go to it last year.
It's a personal finance simulation, and it's to help kids learn what it's like when they actually graduate and they're on their own. It's a real powerful program. We've now got it set up through the school board that we're going to have every one of the high school, the junior class of every high school is going to go through the simulation, and it's going to be a continuous thing. So every kid in the county will have an opportunity to go through the personal finance.
So we'll need a lot of volunteers for that if anybody can help. Also, if anybody in here would like to donate or know business, would like to donate, send somebody to 4-H camp for 4th through 6th grade, $320, for 7th and 8th grade, $350. And it's a week-long course for them. So,
Okay, we're at the county, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, I think it'd be worth mentioning the law enforcement when that meeting is coming up, I think it's March 12th. Is that right? That's in here.
And along those lines, when I was up there, I forgot to mention, our building and grounds minutes have an error. It says that we meet again March the 3rd, and it's March the 6th. We meet the 6th, and then law enforcement meets the 12th. Building and grounds. There's nothing on March the 3rd for the board committees outside.
Law enforcement meeting is March 12th in the courthouse.
Building and grounds is the 6th.
Commissioner Collins.
I was just going to make sure that everyone knew that the animal shelter meeting will be March the 10th. We'll be meeting at 5 o'clock for a workshop, regular meeting at 6 o'clock.
I think one thing that would be helpful if all the chairs would send a message to all of us, email, when we're meeting this coming month. Just be there for me. That would be very helpful, I think. An email from all the chairs to when we're meeting in March. Nancy, do you have something to comment on that?
On that note, budget, we're planning to meet in the courthouse as well, here in the mayor's conference.
I know there's a lot of things going on in there. Committees moving around, so I think it'd be helpful. County attorney report, go ahead, Judge.
Yeah, as far as litigation goes, the only thing I want to update you on is obviously the delinquent tax sale I've talked about for several months coming up. It is on March 13th, Friday the 13th, in this courtroom at 9 a.m. And right now there's around 100 parcels still in that sale, so hopefully those will start getting paid out. But if not, that sale is here March 13th. Otherwise, I'll turn in a written report, as I always do, to show you what I've been doing this month. If anybody ever wants to know, certainly I'll fill you in. Call and ask. Glad to help any of you with anything as usual, so I'll stand on my written report.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner comments? Any comments? Commissioner Gardner?
Said a lot, but the air compressor got me thinking about the volunteer fire departments. I know there's some grant money available through state of Tennessee. I know Timothy Hill was kind of promoting that. I don't know all the details about that, but I think we need to get that out there in our local fire departments. If you've got contacts or whatever, let them know that there is some money for those grants.
Ross, I got that email. I forwarded it to a couple of the ones that I had direct contact for, and I spoke with Jack Buckles and Jason Shaw, and they're going to make sure it gets forwarded through the whole association.
Any other commissioner comments?
I just have one question. Mr. Burke, this is directed at you. What is the current, with rough estimate, total budget for the county for this fiscal year?
For general fund,
Other comments?
Motion to adjourn.
Another motion to adjourn, your second. Second, Commissioner Johnson, all in favor, aye. Aye. Adjourn, thank you.